ever really taken the time to notice what's going on in your inner dialogue? Fortunately, most people's inner dialogue isn't always positive. For some reason, we always find the negative about ourselves to focus on. You might not even realize that these messages that we tell ourselves have a profound effect on how we show up in the world. What we think is what we believe, and then we act in that way. If we are constantly thinking that we're not good enough, if we're constantly thinking that we can't reach our goals, if we're constantly finding ways to pick ourselves apart, that's what we believe, and then we end up showing up in that way without even realizing it, essentially self-sabotaging ourselves. If you are struggling on a health and fitness journey and you keep telling yourself you're not enough, or picking apart your body, or telling yourself like you'll never get to a healthy place that you want to be, then you're going to believe that, and you're going to find evidence all around yourself to prove that to be true. I know it's not easy, but that's why everybody doesn't always get to their goals, because sometimes we're not willing to put the work in. And unfortunately, if you want to change those negative thoughts, you have to practice thinking more positively. If you find yourself saying, I'm never going to get to where I want to be, this is worthless and a waste of time, I'm never going to end up where I want to be, that's when the work comes in. You have to stop and you have to realize what you're saying, and then you have to change that thought into a more positive one to try to make that your new thought. So let me explain to you again something that I do with my clients. So let's take that thought, I'm never going to get to the body that I want. This is a waste of time. Once you notice that you're having that thought, you literally want to stop and say, is this helping me or not? Well, we know that's not helpful. So you're going to choose to reframe that thought into a more positive one. I will have the body that I want and live the life that I want. You want to change that negative into a positive so that that becomes the new automatic thought. Now, it's not going to happen one time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you really are going to have to stop and focus on the messages that you're telling yourself and change them into a more positive one. And that can mean even like writing it down. So getting rid of that like negative, like this is never going to work, and writing down the positive ones. So when you are struggling, you have a place to go and you can read those off to yourself. The more you can start filling your mind with positivity, the more you can start, building yourself up, the easier it's going to be to get to where you want to be. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to follow for more tips like this.